The population of the United States is continually changing in number, location, and composition.
There are a lot of political events that happen, but none of them have such huge repercussions quite like the census.
It's the foundation for so many things.
The census is America's way of taking attendance.
It's a physical representation of the makeup of our communities.
A lot of policy decisions are based off of where people are living and how they're living their lives.
And so when they're allocating money out for things like education, roads and bridges, social security, you're really letting them know what needs to be allocated to your community to help you and your friends be successful.
I live in a great area to get public transportation, but if it wasn't for census data, I would never have access to the A line, the Green Line.
Nonprofits as well as businesses also use this information to know the makeup of their communities and where to best place their new locations, their new jobs.
So for me personally, I'm actually an out-of-state student. After college, I plan to stay in the Twin Cities. So if I'm being counted in the census as somebody who lives in the Twin Cities, that's going to affect me moving forward.
Because it happens once every 10 years, it's not necessarily on the radar for college students, and yet it affects every day of our lives.
In relation to college students, it's super relevant to what is going on, one of which is Pell Grants.
This is actually really personal for me. I didn't go to college for 5 years because I couldn't afford it, and so it's only through the Pell Grant that I'm even able to attend.
You need a proper count to understand the demographic of people who need this help.
Communities are underserved when they're not counted.
It's important to all our livelihoods. It's important to our state and country. So I'm just a small bit of our population, but if I'm not counted, then we're not being representative of who we are as a country.
A lot of rural people do feel that they're not counted or taken into account, and so this is one way to make sure that your voice is heard.
In the Constitution, the language that was used is every person has to be counted. It doesn't mention citizenship, it doesn't mention legal status. Your landlord is not going to find out because this information is not public.
Your individual data will not be revealed to the public for 72 years.
The place you live in for the most of the year, that's where you do get counted.
I do live at my own house, but I share it with a roommate. So I'll talk to my roommate and we'll fill it out together to make sure we have accurate information for both of us.
And to avoid double counting, your family or your parents should not count you.
If you're in a dormitory that is provided by the campus, they will do the count for you.
If they're submitting my information for me and they have it, that's great. Like that's a little less of a barrier for me to be counted in the census and have my one data point represented.
If you are studying abroad, you are not going to be counted in the census, but it applies in the same way for people who are not from here, but live here for school or for other things, and during the time when the census happens, they are also counted.
The census is super cool.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Daniel Jones with the U.S. Census Bureau.
It's important to me as a person who's interested in statistics and data that people get represented accurately.
In an age where we're talking about data more and more, this is like the epitome of what we want as a country.